Hello viewers, welcome back to Daily Retro. Today we've got another episode of Retro Gaming News and Additions for you guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. I appreciate it's been a little while since my last video. Just for sort of personal reasons really, just too busy with life in general. But without further ado, we'll cover more of that at the end. We're going to get into the news. So there's a couple of pieces of really interesting news this month. So the first piece of news that I was sort of taken by was the fact that Eon are releasing a new HD adapter for the original Xbox. Eon, as you may or may not know, they have made an adapter in the past for the GameCube, as you see behind me, and it takes the analog and the digital outputs and then puts it to a HDMI HD output, obviously the name being the GC HD. But this time it's for the original Xbox, so this one's called the XB HD. And what I thought was really interesting about this product when I saw it was it doesn't just have a single video output, it actually has two HDMI video outputs, so you can do dual monitor, really impressive. But also the fact that it plugs into the sort of multi output of the original Xbox means you can use it for LAN parties. So it's got 3 Ethernet ports on the back of it, so you can do LAN parties for three other consoles. So you can have a four-way LAN console party with your original Xbox. I've never seen that feature before on an adapter like this, but that is really cool to see that. It does come in at quite a high price point. It is American obviously, but in pounds it's about £150, British pounds it is. But it's really interesting to see products like that, and I really wish they would do something similar for the PlayStation 2. Because something like that, especially for the LAN party support, would be absolutely epic. I'm sure people would buy that over just buying upscalers sort of thing. So that's really interesting to see. But yeah, without further ado, we'll get on to the next piece of news. So the second piece of news is on 8BitDo. So 8BitDo, as you know, make controllers or parts for controllers, and other sort of general retro accessories. They've just released a sort of a kit to modify your N64 controller into a wireless controller. There's mixed opinions about these kits. They are quite cheap, they're around £20–25 ish I think, but then they turn your controller into a Bluetooth controller. Obviously there are a lot of Bluetooth options now for the N64 if you've been following this news series for a while. But I think that's a cool product to see. It's something that I might actually get myself. Not for my sort of ICE special controllers, but just a battered controller that I might find out in the wild and then decide to use that original controller casing with the original joysticks and buttons to make it wireless. So it's nice to see 8BitDo sort of expanding their range. They do it for a lot of other controllers I may have mentioned in the past, but I'll leave a link for that down in the description so you can go and check them out. I believe you'll be able to get them at Z Labs in the UK. But yeah, I'm sure they'll be elsewhere as well. So yeah, those two pieces of news from the past month really sort of intrigued me. Nothing other than those two pieces, other than little bits that are not really worth mentioning. But without further ado, we'll get into the additions of this episode. So again, it's been a bit of a quiet month gaming wise. It's just been due to a lack of time really. Been doing a lot in the garden, been doing writing as well. I enter competitions occasionally where I write guides for Instructables.com. It's a DIY website, but you don't want to hear too much about that. So we'll stick with the retro theme. This first product is from 8bit Mods, and you may or may not recognise it from other channels. This is the Memcard Pro. So they recently reduced the price on this. It used to be £60. It is now only £40, and I thought I can't miss that. Really adds some great functionality to the PlayStation 1 above me. Especially if you've got the X-Station ODE. It has Wi-Fi inbuilt. I'll just take it out of the packet here, and a little screen on there, and obviously an SD card in the front, so you can literally store limitless amounts of saves for your PlayStation 1 games. And obviously it has a Wi-Fi interface. This basically just on first setup, you connect to it manually via direct Wi-Fi, and then connect to its IP address, and then connect it to your home Wi-Fi, and then you can access it over FTP or just the web interface, which is really easy to do. I don't think anyone would struggle with it. It was very simple to use. The only bad things I've found so far with this product is on Hogs of War, which seemed to be only one game. The saves just did not work or load or anything. It just hung on the save or load screen, which is a bit disappointing. But they do have firmware updates that again are really easy to implement on this device. And I have notified 8-Bit Mods so they can go investigate themselves, because they are very active on it. And then they'll release a firmware update in the near future for that, hopefully, as well. So yeah, I hope that gets fixed soon, because it would be nice to go back to Hogs of War on the original PlayStation. I've been playing it on the PS Classic for what seems like a long time, but just sort of taking breaks because it's been getting difficult towards the end. But yeah, really impressed with that product nonetheless, and highly recommend. And then we'll move on to the games. So it's only a couple of games this month, actually. So this was from Sleepy Gamer and Legendary. I've interviewed them on Guide to Games Rooms a while back that you may not have seen. They're really avid gamers, and they've sort of combined their collection recently. I saw on Instagram, which is really cool to see, the fact that they're sort of dedicated to that point now. So hello if you're watching. But they were sort of selling off duplicate games. And obviously, as collectors themselves, they do keep stuff in very good condition. So I've been getting rid of some Platinum games in my PS2 collection, just because I don't like the silver cases being in my collection. I'm sure some of you will understand that. But anyway, so we've got the original Ratchet and Clank. These are all complete, and nice to see stickers on the outside as well from like PS Magazine. It's a 9 out of 10 game when it came out. And I think that was £5, I think, which is pretty good. And then Crazy Taxi, which was surprisingly hard to find as a non-platinum game. Very, very common title, but hard to find in good condition, I found. Not really sure why, but this one was excellent condition, all complete, so I couldn't pass on that. I think I ended up paying £3 for that one. And Ant sort of said, oh, just including postage, we'll do it for about £10. So that was really good of him. Much less than I would have paid on eBay. So yeah, chuffed with that. And then finally is something I've had an eBay alert for quite a while. It's a figure. So I don't collect many figures, but I love my RPGs. And any sort of RPG games like The Witcher or Dragon Age, or Kingdoms of Amalur, I'm massively into that stuff, so I will collect pretty much anything for those RPG series. But this is Yennefer of Vengerberg Series 1 for Witcher Wild Hunt. The wife bought me the Geralt version of this for my birthday, I think it was. It might not have been last year, it was probably the year before that. But these seem to come up quite expensive on eBay sometimes. People trying to sort of flog them for 60-65 quid when they're really not worth that. I think that when they originally sold, it was about £30 mark. And it was only in Poland as well, so you had to import them. And this came up as £35 posted, and I immediately jumped on it because it was in very good condition. All boxed, which was basically what I was looking for. There was lots of unboxed versions, but I wanted boxed. The only slight annoyance was it got sent in like a jiffy bag style packaging, so it got a little bit sort of dented, as you see, in transport, which is a bit disappointing, but it's going to be on display like that next to Geralt, so you won't really notice the back of the box. And for such a bargain, I can't really complain either. And that will sit pride of place next to my Series 1 Geralt figure, which if you see my games room tour is sort of above my desk in the corner in that direction. But yeah, that's it for this month's pickups. I've got my 30th birthday coming up next week. Really excited for that. It's not going to feel real till it is, I think. Becoming a dad's just made me feel older anyway, so I'm not really sure it's going to have much effect. But yeah, really enjoying how things are going. It's just not as much time for gaming at the moment. We're taking a visit to Old School Gaming actually on my birthday. That's in Brierley Hill, or Hales Own, or southwest of Birmingham. So that'd be really cool to see Rich, who runs that store, and I'll hopefully be filming a few clips and then doing another guide to game shops. And I know for a fact he's the one who actually sold me Mutant League Hockey at the Black Country Games Fair a few months back, that he has excellent stock, so I can't wait to have a look around on my birthday. Caden's going to be at nursery, so we'll have time to take our time, which is something I never thought I'd have to sort of enjoy as much as I do, but it is nice just to have that peace sometimes. Very active 18-month-old, so if any of your dads out there, and imagine that those first couple of years, they are hard work, tiring, so yeah. But it's nice to have that break. I can't wait for my birthday. The wife's got me lined up a rally experience for my birthday. That's been organised through a rally school. And yeah, it's going to be a Mark II Escort, which is my favourite sort of ever non-4-wheel drive rally car. 4-wheel drive being the 6R4. But yeah, I absolutely love driving that car in a simulator, just absolutely sideways everywhere. And yeah, I can't wait to have a go on a proper stage. It's like a full day experience for just me, which is probably very expensive. But my wife just wanted to treat me because it's a special birthday. So yeah, really looking forward to that. And I hope to bring you guys more videos soon. They've just sort of taken a little bit of a slowdown recently just because of life in general, busyness. I know a lot of my YouTuber friends, they sort of have they start their channels when their kids are a bit older, purely for this reason. But I'm trying to keep the channel going and hope you've enjoyed what I do put out. But let me know in the comments what you've enjoyed about this episode, if you've got any comments on the products that have been shown as well. And yeah, hope you all have an awesome week, and hope to see you very soon. Cheers.